Look, you want to be president, or do you want to investigate all the shit we try to do to keep you from being president? You got one choice, one or the other. You can either be president or investigate this shit and we're going to impeach you. You want to know what it sounds like, a mob strong-arm thing to me? That!
Who run Bartertown?
You know who.
You know him, you love him. He's...
Through the course of this video, I've planned to plant a couple of little seeds. They're just little things that I'm going to say to you, right? That I just want to just be there in your fucking head as you watch this video, right? They'll come at random times. And I'm going to give you the first one right now. It isn't paranoia if they're actually out to get you, right? So I read the transcript from the phone call with the Ukrainian president. And I gotta say, of all the official documents I've ever read in my life, this one by far was like the most fun to read. It was just really fun to see these two guys banter with each other and talk politics. And, right, now it seems to me the president of Ukraine is a bit like Donald Trump. They kind of mention it to each other. Donald Trump says, you know, great come from behind victory, nobody took you seriously but you won, right? And this dude's like, yeah, we learned a lot from you. You know, like, right? And yeah, you know, they were throwing back and forth stuff that they wanted to do. President Zelensky says, you know, we'd like to buy more javelins from you guys. By that I mean the missile, not, you know. But yeah, they want to buy more javelins. And the president's like, oh yeah, that's fucking great, why not? And you know, and Donald Trump says, I hear that you are getting some people around you, you know, this crowd strike. I'm worried for you, man. Now, look, Donald Trump, he's in it. Like, this dude is a grizzled veteran at this point. It's 3 years in his tour, and he has been in war the whole time. The war started before he was inaugurated. That was just when it started to get crazy, was the inauguration. That was when fucking idiots were literally screaming in the streets. Right? That's when everybody lost their fucking mind. It was on that day. But it started long before that. Shots were fired, man. Fucking... So... this dude's been in it. And he's like, look, you know, I'm worried about you. You know, I took it as... I see a lot of my past in your present, which means I foresee a lot of my present in your future. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're getting some people around you that are like some of the people that are around me that I can't actually fire, even though I wish I could. You know, like, right? That's the way it kind of came off to me. Because the response to it was, yeah, well, yeah, and I'm draining the swamp too. I'm looking into that. You know, that whole thing was terrible. And President Trump goes, yeah. And Joe Biden, you know, he was bragging about how he got your prosecutor, who was a really good guy, he got him removed. He was bragging about that shit. And the Ukrainian president's like, yeah, I know. I ain't happy about that shit neither. And we're going to be looking into it. And the next prosecutor, he's going to be my dude. We're going to get this shit sorted out. We're going to figure out where all this corruption started and how it happened. Right? And now I'm like, at this point, I'm thinking to myself, you know, the Ukrainian president is seeing a whole lot of his present in Donald Trump's present. You know what I mean? Like, he's in a position to be able to turn the tables and start digging into shit. Donald Trump is now in a position where he's able to turn the tables and start digging into shit. And he's got his, you know, dudes in place. Bill Barr and whatnot, right? He's got his men. Right? And they're getting into the shit. So, they're going to have Rudy and Bill. They're going to call, you know, President Zelensky. And, you know, see about helping them out to find some of the corruption in their people. Because, drain the swamp. But, like, it was so funny to read guys just suck each other's dicks. It was hysterical. Fucking, like, the bantering back and forth was just great. Like, the two of them, oh, you really gotta come by, man. You gotta come by the Ukraine, man. You're gonna love this place. We'll fucking set you up. It'll be great. And he's like, fuck yeah, you gotta come by Washington. Oh, I'd love to. I've been to New York. I stayed in the Trump Towers. Hey, I own that place. Yeah, dude, it was hysterical. It was very funny. It was two guys that were happy that they're in positions to do good for their nations. Like, that's what it came off as to me. So, this is proof of strong arming. And I'm like, well, you're adding a lot of context that isn't there in text. Like, tone is utterly lost. I'm reading it in the context of what's written. So I'm hearing two happy guys talking to each other, palsy wowsy, and hey, we should fucking hang out sometime. We want to buy weapons from you because we got this problem with Russia. You know, help us out. Be sweet. And we got fucking assholes in our government, just like you do. Sucks, man. We're going to find those pricks and we're going to find out all the shady shit they've been doing. And we're going to fuck them up. And Trump's like, yeah, well, you know what? How about I send Rudy and Bill down and they'll come help you figure out who the pricks are in your fucking shit. Sweet, man. Well, you should come by sometime. Yeah, fuck it. Come over to my place. Yeah, we'll go on your plane. It's better than mine, I bet. So, like, dude. And that's actually verbatim a line in it. What is it? We can either take my plane and go to Ukraine, or we can take your plane, which is probably much better than mine. Like, okay, we can work that out, is the reply. Dude, fucking, like, so I have no choice but to read it into the context of what I'm reading. I either say it's a blank, emotionless scrawl, or it has the emotion that I'm reading from the context of the words used. Right? If we're going to insist that words are important, it sounds like two guys that are happy to talk to each other, and one dude that's happy to have the assistance to find the fucking assholes in his government. They're fucking shit up. Right? So there's the transcripts. Yeah, he mentions Joe Biden. He mentions Joe Biden's kid. He mentions the CrowdStrike thing, which was the thing that was involved with Joe Biden's kid. Whatever, right? But he mentions Joe Biden in a factual way. Joe Biden was bragging about how he got this fucking prosecutor. Now, I will say this. I don't know for a fact what Donald Trump is talking about. I only know what I heard. And I heard Joe Biden say, yeah, we got that prosecutor. So, right? Joe Biden's admitted it. I heard him. So he's talking about him in a factual fucking way. Now, maybe he wasn't bragging. That's Joe Biden's opinion. Donald Trump's opinion is he was bragging. Who's to say he's wrong? Right? But that's how he gets tossed in. I'll read it to you. Hold on. Fuck me. Now, see, this is why I didn't want to get into reading the shit. Because now I gotta find things. And I don't want to read the whole thing. Oh, okay. Fuck it. The president. Donald Trump. Whatever. I would like you to do us a favor. Okay. We'll read the line before, give it some fucking kind of full context. They're pretty much talking. Yeah, they're talking about how much Donald Trump does for the Ukraine. Oh, Donald Trump's fucking amazing for Ukraine. Yeah, you guys are great. I would also like to thank you for your great support in the area of defense. We are ready to continue to cooperate for the next step. Specifically, we are almost ready to buy more javelins from the United States for defense purposes, right? So then Donald Trump says, I would like you to do us a favor, though, because our country has been through a lot and Ukraine knows a lot about it. Now, I would imagine that Donald Trump is talking about all this shit, right? I would like you to find out what happened with this whole situation with Ukraine. They say CrowdStrike. I guess you have one of your wealthy people. The server, they say Ukraine has it. There are a lot of things that went on, the whole situation. I think you're surrounding yourself with some of the same people. I would like to have the Attorney General call you or your people, and I would like you to get to the bottom of it. As you saw yesterday, the whole nonsense ended with a very poor performance by a man named Robert Mueller, an incompetent performance, but they say a lot of it started with Ukraine. Whatever you can do, it's very important that you do it if that's possible. Now look. They're saying that he's wanting them to do this to ruin Joe Biden's political campaign for president for 2020. Right? I disagree. I don't think he's going after Joe Biden, the candidate. I think he's going after the ex-vice president. I don't think he's trying to ruin his chances to be president. I think he's trying to ruin his chances to be a free man. Like, you gotta remember, all this shit started during Obama's reign, right? They were all involved in this shit. The Steele dossier, the whole fucking shebang-a-bang. There's all of them. All of them. So, Donald Trump is now investigating that shit. He's having it looked into. I would imagine that he would like the assistance of the president of the country that was involved in that whole thing, right? Because you gotta remember, this shit spanned years and was nationwide and international. This was an international incident on many levels. So he wants Rudy and Bob or Bill to go over there and interview people involved in investigating the origins of the Mueller report. Now, they're saying that it's, oh, well, he wants javelins. And so now Donald Trump says this. Alright. Well, Donald Trump, we are almost ready to buy more javelins from the United States for defense purposes. We are ready to continue to cooperate for the next step. Specifically, we are almost ready to buy more javelins. This seems to be something that Donald Trump probably knows about. He's like, alright, cool. Well, I want you to do something for me too. I want you to look into this shit because, and then fucking Zelensky's like, oh yeah, it's very important to me, and everything that you just mentioned earlier. For me as a president, it is very important, and we are open for any future cooperation. We are ready to open up a new page on cooperation and relations between the United States and Ukraine. For that purpose, I just recalled our ambassador from the United States, and he will be replaced by a very competent and very experienced ambassador who will work hard on making sure that our two nations are getting closer. This sounds like a guy who's being terribly pressured, right? It's fucking mob-like. I would also like and hope to see him having your trust and confidence and have personal relations with you. Ooh. So we can cooperate even more so. Holy shit. I will personally tell you that one of my assistants spoke with Mr. Giuliani just recently, and we are hoping very much that Mr. Giuliani will be able to travel to Ukraine, and we will meet once he comes to Ukraine. I just wanted to assure you once again that you have nobody but friends around us. I will make sure that I surround myself with the best and most experienced people. I also wanted to tell you that we are friends. We are great friends, and you, Mr. President, have friends in our country, so we can continue our strategic partnership. I also plan to surround myself with great people, and in addition to that investigation, I guarantee as the President of Ukraine that all the investigations will be done openly and candidly. That I can assure you. Oh, this sounds terrible. Good. Because I heard you had a prosecutor who was very good and he was shut down. And that's really unfair. I agree. If he was really good and just shut down, that's unfair. If Mueller was just shut down, wouldn't that have been unfair? A lot of people are talking about that, the way they shut your very good prosecutor down and you had some very bad people involved. Mr. Giuliani is a highly respected man. He was the mayor of New York City, a great mayor, and I would like him to call you. I will ask him to call you along with the Attorney General. Rudy very much knows what's happening, and he is a very capable guy. If you could speak to him, that would be great. The former ambassador from the United States, the woman, was bad news, and the people she was dealing with in Ukraine were bad news. So I just wanted to let you know that. The other thing, there's a lot of talk about Biden's son. That Biden stopped the prosecution, and a lot of people want to find out about that, so whatever you can do with the Attorney General would be great. Biden went around bragging that he stopped the prosecution, so if you can look into it, it sounds horrible to me. That does. That sounds terrible to me. If somebody were to do that in this country, the fucking world would be on fire. Are you kidding me? Like, people act like Robert Mueller was shut down. And he wasn't. And they fucking lose their mind anyways. And they got this shit. So, it actually happened in the Ukraine. Think about that. This is exposing a lot. President Zelensky, I wanted to tell you about the prosecutor. First of all, I understand and I'm knowledgeable about the situation. Since we have won the absolute majority in our parliament, the next prosecutor general will be 100% my person, my candidate, who will be approved by the parliament, and we will start as a new prosecutor in September. He or she will look into the situation, specifically to the company that you mentioned in this issue. The issue of the investigation of the case is actually the issue of making sure to restore the honesty so that we can take care of that and we'll work on the investigation of the case. On top of that, I would kindly ask you if you have any additional information that you can provide to us. Holy shit! It sounds like he's trying to strong-arm Donald Trump for information. Motherfucker! It would be very helpful to the investigation to make sure that we can administer justice in our country with regard to the ambassador of the United States from Ukraine. As far as I can recall, her name was Ivanovich. It was great that you were the first one who told me that she was a bad ambassador, because I agree with you 100%. Her attitude towards me was far from the best, as she admired the previous president and she was on his side. She would not accept me as new president well enough. Dude, it sounds like President Trump is talking to President Trump here. I don't fucking know. I mean, either this is all bullshit and this is him writing both fucking sides. I don't know, but this... It doesn't sound... I mean, he wants fucking... He on top of that, I would kindly ask you if you have any additional information that you can provide to us. Are you saying you won't give us information unless we give you information? Is this a quid pro quo, President Zelensky? I mean, come on, man. You gotta be fucking shitting me with this. What? Alright, whatever. So there's the fucking transcripts. It doesn't help them. I'm sorry, Democrats, it doesn't help you. It makes you look fucking stupid as far as I'm concerned. I see two guys sucking each other dick and wanting to help root out fucking corruption. I'm struggling to find Donald Trump as the villain in this. Seems like he's an undercover cop. Like, this seems like a fucking cop buddy flick, for fuck's sake. So, at my job 2 jobs ago, right? I was a supervisor of a portion of the production crew, right? I ran finishing. And we were supposed to leave the next shift relatively fucking decently set up. You know what I mean? Like, work is supposed to continue throughout the day. So essentially, you don't bust your ass in the beginning of the day to get yourself set up and then just use all your shit throughout the day and then fuck the next shift. They have to fuck get their own shit, right? Like, you don't do that shit because it's wrong. Everybody sets everybody up, and then we just have a continuous flow of work, and then everybody gets paid more, right? Like, we get more business, we get more money. That's how this shit works. Anyways, so every day I would come in, and there's just fucking shit. None of the lines would be swept. None of the lines would be set up. Nothing fucking done. People would be bitching at me. So I go bitch to the fucking soup on the first shift. Hey, you're leaving me with shit lines. Stop it. Get your people to fucking clean shit up. Right? And he'd get pissy with me, and I go, no, do it. And I fucking walk away. And, because I'd worked there long enough and worked with him long enough that I knew that I could just do that, and that would, you know, piss him off to the point where he'd make a scene, look like an idiot, and then I'd win, right? Like, that's how that always works. So, he'd get pissed off more and more. And fucking, finally, he got so pissed off that he got the production manager and the fucking, like, the big boss guy, like the plant manager, got him, and got me, sat us all down to have a meeting about my problem with him. And I'm like, well, this is going to be great. You may not know this. Well, you don't know this. But the funny thing is, the plant manager at the time was James. Dude used to be on the show. Moved to North Carolina. Right? It was James. My buddy, my pal. And James, he'd worked there a long time too. And he also knew this guy. He knew what a fucktard he was. So, right? So we went into this meeting fully expecting to ambush this asshole. Just waiting for him to step in our trap, right? And he did spectacularly. He said, look, right, end of the shift is 3:15. Okay? You can't come up and complain to me about the lines until after 3:15. You got to give my guys the full shift, be able to do all that stuff. And I'm like, if none of it's done and they're all standing at the clock at 3 o'clock, then fuck you. No, I can bitch at you and tell you to get them the fuck back onto their lines and clean the shit. And he said, no. He said, me and Dickhead, the production manager, who was actually his brother. So, but I had the higher ranking dude on my side, so it's all good, right? I had the boss. So, he goes, we talked about it, and we said, no, the shift ends at 3:15, so you can't bitch about it until 3:15. And I said, well, dude, how am I supposed to complain to you about your people when you evaporate at 3:15? Like, you literally turn to smoke in front of motherfuckers. Like, I've heard that rumor. You're gone. You are gone. You are in your car and gone at 3:15. How the fuck am I supposed to do that? And that was the point where James told me to get the fuck out of there. And began the dressing down from the big boss. So that was fun. But yeah, that was some bullshit. I can't complain about it until there's nothing that can be done about it. Like, I'm supposed to expect that you're going to look at your people and say you have to stay over and clean your lines? How about I tell you at 3 o'clock and give you guys 15 minutes to fucking get it done? Right? Like, isn't that like kinder? Whatever. So, that's a whole different video. Why am I doing it? So anyways, that was some bullshit. He wanted me to fucking not be able to complain about it, essentially. Or make sure that nothing was going to be able to be done about it. So just fuck off. Just deal with it. Like, that was the thing. And I thought about that story today. I wanted to tell that story today because the big problem with all of this, right, is that Donald Trump has a foreign nation. Like, it used to be foreign adversary. That was the big problem because it was Russia and they were foreign adversary. Now, he's just got a foreign ally. Not as bad too, I guess. Looking into bad things that happened in the past when Joe Biden was president. Yeah, I get that he's running for president, but he was president. Right? Or vice president. Whatever. He's running for president, but he was vice president at the time. Like, this shit is stuff that happened. They're also worried about everything that happened 15 fucking years ago. We don't give a shit about things that happened 5 years ago? Great. Alright. Well, it's funny how the rules work. But it's bad because Donald Trump has him looking into a political rival in the election. And I'm like, but he's not. He hasn't won. He's not the fucking Democratic nominee. They've got 500 other motherfuckers to pick from. And Joe Biden sucks as a candidate. I think they said over the weekend, like 16% of the people that say they're voting for Joe Biden would vote for a better candidate if one showed up. He's only got like 36%. 20% of the people believe in Joe Biden. Almost half of his poll numbers don't fucking believe in him and would gladly give him up for somebody better. So, can't look into Joe Biden because he's a political rival. That'll get you impeached. And I'm like, but he was doing things back when. So what? That means he's running for president, so he can't. You guys bitch every time anybody says that the president can't be fucking indicted on anything because he's president. And the president can't investigate Joe Biden because he's running for president? Fuck me. Okay, well. So, in other words, fucking deal with it. You can't look into it. Donald, I'm sorry. Look, you want to be president, or do you want to investigate all the shit we try to do to keep you from being president? You got one choice. One or the other. You can either be president, or investigate this shit and we're going to impeach you. You want to know what it sounds like? A mob strong-arm thing to me? That!